Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really plunging into a story that's been making waves everywhere, online and off. It involves two figures you definitely know, incredibly influential, very outspoken, Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Right. Hard to miss this one.
Exactly. We're going to dissect this very public spat that seems to have ended, maybe temporarily, maybe not, with Trump reportedly stopping all activity on X, the platform that used to be Twitter.
It's a fascinating situation.
Yeah.
And so public, too.
It really is. And it kind of shines a light on how differently they see things, doesn't it? From government support for businesses right down to the basic direction of politics.
Definitely contrasting views there.
So our mission here, for you listening, is to break down the reported details, get into the specific criticisms flying back and forth, and really try to understand what it all means. We're aiming for some clear insights, maybe even a few aha moments, so you can quickly get a handle on this pretty surprising turn of events.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, what's really striking, I think, isn't just that it blew up, but how incredibly public it all was.
Right.
The core issue, based on the reports we're seeing, is Donald Trump's, his absence from X. As of July 2nd, 2025, the reports say he hadn't posted anything for a whole week.
A whole week? That's notable for him.
It is. His last regular post was apparently June 25th, and the last tweet he had pinned was even earlier, June 22nd.
Wow. And considering his following on there.
Exactly. Over 107 million followers on X. So radio silence is a big deal. Instead, the report suggests he's been very active on his own platform, Truth Social.
Yeah, that silence on X really stands out, especially given how much he used it in the past. So, okay, it wasn't just a quiet drift away from the platform. What actually sparked this fight? What were the specific things said? Because it got pretty heated, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't quiet at all. It seems the dispute really intensified after Trump publicly went after Musk.
Okay.
Trump basically claimed that Musk, the Tesla CEO, relies way too heavily on U.S. government subsidies.
The subsidy argument.
Yes. And he didn't just mention it. He went further. He claimed that without that government money, Musk would probably, quote, head back home to South Africa.
Ooh, that's way out.
Very pointed.
And then he'd have to close up shop, basically saying Musk's big ventures, rockets, satellites, even the electric cars wouldn't survive without that taxpayer help. It felt like a direct hit on Musk's whole business identity.
That's a really sharp accusation. Did Trump elaborate beyond just the subsidies? Were there other policy things he brought up when criticizing Musk?
He did, yeah. He broadened the attack. Trump mentioned he was, quote, strongly against the EV mandate long before Musk even endorsed him. He called the mandate ridiculous.
The EV mandate, just so everyone listening knows, that generally refers to those government policies pushing for more electric vehicles, right? Like regulations or targets?
Exactly. Policies designed to speed up the shift to EVs. And Trump made it clear he thought it was government overreach.
Okay.
And then to really underline his point about the subsidies, Trump actually suggested that DOGE should investigate them. DOGE. Wait, the Department of Government Efficiency. The one Musk used to head.
That's the one. So, suggesting Musk's own former department should investigate the subsidies going to Musk's current companies. It felt like a very strategic jab, using Musk's past against him.
Wow, that's definitely playing hardball. So Musk isn't exactly known for staying quiet either. How did he react to these pretty direct hits from Trump?
No, he definitely fired back. Musk quickly condemned what he called Trump's big, beautiful bill that was a spending bill being considered at the time.
Right, I remember that.
Musk called it political suicide for the Republican Party. Pretty strong language.
Yeah, no kidding.
But he didn't stop at just criticizing. He actually issued a major threat. Musk said he'd launch a whole new political party.
A new party?
Yep, he called it the America Party.
Yeah.
He said he'd do it if that spending bill passed the U.S. Senate.
Seriously? Over a spending bill?
That was the threat. He explained it by saying the country needs an alternative to what he called the Democrat-Republican Uniparty.
The Uniparty. So his argument is that both major parties are basically the same on some core things.
That seems to be his take, that despite looking like they fight, they work together on fundamental issues, which, in his view, shuts out real alternatives for voters.
Okay. Threatening a whole new party is, well, it's a huge statement. How seriously do we take that? Is that a real possibility, an America Party? Or more like Musk using strong rhetoric to make a point in this, very tense political climate?
That's a really good question. Look, Musk has definitely voiced frustration with the two-party system before, but actually launching a viable third party That's a massive challenge, even for someone with his profile and, frankly, his resources.
It takes a lot more than just announcing it.
Right. So you could see his threat maybe as partly genuine frustration, showing how strongly he feels about the current political path, especially fiscal issues. But it's also likely a pretty powerful way to pressure current politicians, right? To push them towards his more fiscally conservative viewpoint.
So a bit of both, perhaps. Real frustration and strategic pressure.
Possibly. It's kind of a perfect example of how blurred the lines are now between, big business figures, celebrity status, and straight-up politics. It all gets mixed together, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. So thinking about this whole fight, it feels like it goes deeper than just two famous guys not liking each other. What do you see as the sort of fundamental clash here? What's the core ideological disagreement driving this feud?
Yeah, if you zoom out a bit, I think it's more than personal. It really highlights this interesting split, maybe even a fault line, opening up within conservative thinking itself.
Hope so.
Well, you've got Trump, right? He says he's against government mandates like the EV one. Yet here he is criticizing a business leader, Musk, for taking government money, while Trump himself has often pushed for things like tariffs, which are a form of government intervention.
That's true. There's a tension there.
And then you have Musk. He positions himself as, a free market guy generally. But here he is threatening to basically blow up the political system over a single spending bill he sees as bad policy, saying we need a whole alternative structure.
So it's not a simple pro-government versus anti-government thing.
Not at all. This whole messy dispute really just showcases these two incredibly powerful figures who have fundamentally different ideas about how government should interact with business and what the right political direction even looks like. It kind of forces you, the listener, to ask, is this just about their egos? Or does it point to a bigger struggle over what American capitalism or even American political identity means in the 21st century?
That's a really fascinating way to frame it. A struggle over the definition itself. So thinking ahead, what does this all mean for, say, the future of political arguments on social media, or even just for these weird alliances and rivalries that seem to pop up and shake things? How might these really public clashes between, titans of politics and tech actually influence the platforms like X that we all use for news and discussion? Could it change the narratives that define our times? Lots to think about there. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the latest between Donald Trump and Elon Musk.